just took money from that family.
I got them safe, just a little poorer.
Welcome back to Crane's Bar and Grill.
Hello
and we're going to do, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 2 review. So, we're going to do non-spoilers first, then we'll get, later on we'll go to spoilers, but at first we'll just give our, whether we liked it or not, and just a kind of general thing without any spoilers. So what did you think about episode 2?
Episode 2 was good. It was shorter than the first one, wasn't it?
I don't know, it seemed shorter.
It seemed shorter. I think it was by a little bit. Because
okay.
it was also called Part 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it is like Part 1 and Part 2 for the first 2 episodes. It seemed a lot shorter. It was alright. It expanded the story. I don't know if I liked it as much as episode 1.
I didn't. I thought episode was really good. Episode 2 is okay.
Yeah. It had a similar problem that cropped up in episode 1.
Yeah.
But
pretty much the exact same problem, just with no trees.
yeah.
There was really no excuse.
It was happened in a market instead of a forest.
Yeah.
But
And what do you think,
Yeah.
Sierra?
I did not like episode 2 that much. It was okay. Like, the beginning of it was okay, but then, like, the further it went on, I just did not like it. Hoping episode 3 is better. But, yeah, because I did not like episode 2. I mean, if I had to rate it 1 to 10, I would give it, like, a 5. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'd probably give it more of a 5. If I had to rate episode 2.
Yeah.
What as good as the first one?
No. And it was, even though it was shorter, it seemed to drag on more. Like, it dragged.
It did seem to drag a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just...
Right there, like, middle, getting closer to the...
I didn't like a lot
beginning of the
of...
third act dragged a little bit.
Yeah, and I didn't like some of the characters that I did like in episode 1. I did not like them in episode 2. Not Obi-Wan. He's always good. But, yeah, it was just meh. I mean, I'd still rather watch that than, like, The Last Jedi, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not saying much.
No, it's not.
And what about a 1 to 10? What would you give it?
I'd probably also give it, like, a 5. Maybe leaning towards 6, but probably a 5.
5.
Yeah.
All right, so that's probably the end of the spoiler-free part. Because
Yeah.
after that, you gotta get into,
Yeah.
it's just, like I said, it just wasn't as good. It had more action,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it wasn't as good because
It was, yeah, the first one was
Yeah.
slower, but you're learning, you're still
Yeah.
learning about, like where Obi-Wan's at emotionally in episode 1. And it's very character driven.
Yeah.
Episode 2 seemed to go more action driven, and it wasn't as good because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The few times that they did start going into the characters more were the best parts of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
It was
parts, yeah.
needless action.
Yeah,
action
'cause-
wasn't needed.
Well, and it's not so much what it was also the way the action scenes were.
Yeah.
The action scenes were silly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that's into the spoilers. So, if y'all, if you're someone who didn't want spoilers, then this is where you're going to stop watching. Everybody else, but before you leave, make sure you give a like and a subscribe.
Yeah. And then come back
give
and watch it after
give
you've
it a
seen
thumbs
it.
up, leave a comment. So, but everybody else. So now we're going to start the spoilers. You've been warned. All right.
Yeah.
So, again,
Final warning.
Again, I've got my notes. It's those movie things they do just for an excuse where there's no logical reason for them. They happen just so the story can happen.
Yes.
All signals are blocked in and out. Well, what kind of
Why?
planet has that? How do they know that somebody's coming? How do they know a ship's coming in? How do they? What if you want to send your mom a text message and she's on a different planet? You
Yeah.
can't. So who would live on that planet? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They would have already. And plus, the more you do stuff like that, the more the hackers and everybody else are going to find a way around it. So it doesn't do any good. It'd be better. It'd be better to have everybody could do it and monitor what they're doing, and then you could just go arrest them if it's someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been better if he'd asked the guy for, I'm looking for this ship, whatever, and he looks it up and he's like, "It's not in our system."
Yeah.
Like they smuggle.
They smuggled it in or something.
Yeah. I'm like that would have been a lot more believable.
Right.
Oh, and before we get too far into it, I completely forgot I need a drink.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab the ice on this one. Did he just?
It would have been more believable if they would have smuggled it in or like you know.
And then we had, and I like the clone trooper begging for money. I like that. It was a really good scene, especially considering if you'd have to be a Star Wars fan to know that what the outfit he was wearing is from the 150 whatever it was actual, or it was from they had Order 66.
Yeah.
So it was going to be. I think it was.
It was a clone trooper. It was. He had blue markings.
Yeah, so I think it was from the. I can't remember. It was from the one, but which was one that Obi-Wan should have really hated. You know what I mean? But you see where he's at.
Yeah.
There, and he's still, either he's so doesn't care. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or he's a Jedi, so he's not gonna just. But it showed where, even after Order 66, this is where the Empire leads you. You're begging on the street.
Is it the 140?
Yeah.
142nd?
Second, yeah.
That was Anakin's like.
Yeah, I think it was Anakin's way. That's where it even had more meaning.
Yeah, he might have been from that.
So, which gives it a little more meaning. But that was kind of a neat little touch in how he was, begging on the street and stuff. I like that.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you can always add that into Star Wars because it's the same guy that does all the clones. It's Boba Fett.
He's got a job.
Tamara Morrison will always have work.
Right. In Star Wars.
With Star Wars.
Every clone and Boba Fett. So.
And here's something I know but I don't know if Sierra knows. Yeah. The little girl that tried to sell him, that was selling him stuff that slipped him with drugs. Spice. You know who that was? That's Ewan McGregor's daughter.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah. So she played that. And that was one of the parts where, her showing up kind of gives a call back to, you want to buy a death stick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't like about it was no drug dealer just gives you some. He gave you some so he could use it later, which is another thing where it's kind of like the blocking the signals in and out. You did that so that could happen later.
Yeah.
And it should have, I don't know, it could have done something else.
Yeah.
I would think.
Wait, when does the...
It didn't...
Like he could have taken it from her, like, you shouldn't be doing this. And then stuck in his pocket.
It didn't bother me that much.
No, because the drug dealer would do that. They'd be like, well, you're not on it now, but take some, maybe if you try, you come back.
Yeah.
Well, I think it should have been a smaller bottle. Yeah, that's my only thing with it.
Just want to say, it's first thing
if it was a smaller bottle, it's something where he might try it later.
Yeah.
Then he'll get hooked.
Right.
Then he'll come back.
Right.
Like that seemed believable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know it was his daughter till the second time I watched it. Now those other two things with the signals and then her slipping her that, both of those I noticed in the first one. It kind of took me out of the movie or out of the show. Who would just slip? You're just not going to give them. I mean, you would give them some if you're the only drug dealer on their street. So they know they more than likely going to come back to you. He's never going to see her again.
No.
You didn't know how to get a hold of her. You didn't go, here's my card in case you need me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that, you're only going to give it away free is if you know you're going to, Oh, and then when you had the fake Jedi, I kind of liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? I recognized his voice immediately.
Oh, yeah. And I recognize his face, too.
So funny.
I've seen him in lots of different stuff.
Is he from...
Harold and Kumar.
Harold and Kumar?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
oh my gosh.
And he's always kind of that...
He's funny.
Yes.
Yeah, he's always funny. But he is one of those people that does kind of play the same kind of character, just in a different thing. But he's funny.
Yeah.
And I liked how he... I just like that it was funny, but it wasn't right after a serious part or right after whatever. And I do think that Obi-Wan would have messed with him like that.
Yes.
Come out and said, just kind of mess with him and not just say, what are you doing?
I liked that he was kind of a good guy. But
he is getting them out.
Like, he is actually getting them out, but he's also getting a cut for himself. Right. It's a very realistic character.
Right. What he was doing wasn't so bad you would think of him as a bad guy.
Yeah.
Or a bad person. He was helping people.
Yeah, at first you were, but then you realize he really is probably
getting helping them,
yeah. And then with the Jedi, like especially what happened later when he's trying to help him, I think that he's like a Jedi wannabe. But he's raised on the streets, so you're still going to be kind of a con man.
Yeah.
Because that's probably how he was raised. But he's kind of a Jedi wannabe. oh, he would have loved to be a Jedi. You
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
I think that's who he is. So yeah, so
I liked his character,
I liked
yeah.
his character.
I
I
did
thought
too.
it was funny, but it wasn't too silly funny. It's
Yeah.
something that you could see actually happening.
Yeah.
There's comment all the time now
Right.
that do, that do stuff.
I did like when he gets Leia, and as soon as he walks in, she hits him.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
part.
That was good.
But then
Yeah.
every part after that with him and her, I did not like that
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And
I
she
could
was
see
kind of
her-
annoying.
I could see her not believing him, because she's always been told that all the Jedi are gone. So I can see her not believing him, but it just went so far and so long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It was-
and with her
yeah.
hitting him like that, that would have been a way in the first one, instead of her, she could use her and say close to the same thing that she said before, but not as smart. And then when he came back, she could have hit him, got into a fight, and then you got to apologize. You got to apologize to him. Well, if she would have kicked him in his shins, that would be
Right.
foreshadowing to
Yeah.
the next thing, that she will react violently if she
Yeah.
Yeah.
needs to defend herself.
Yeah.
She's not afraid
Yeah.
of doing that.
I
So
do
that
think
would have been a neat
it
thing.
would have been.
It interrupted the party.
I think it would have been better if when they were transporting her to the planet, if she had been more
More
scared.
scared. Yeah, she
Yeah.
didn't seem scared at all.
Yeah.
And any kid, no matter how smart, you're going to be
you're
scared.
going to be scared.
You're going to want your mom
Like
and
I can
daddy.
see her saying the lines she said, but in a much more frightened way.
more frightened.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she's scared, but she's still gonna say, like, you're not gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
But like,
My dad will
she's
kinda get-
yeah.
And they may have tried that, but again, when you have child actors,
Child actors,
maybe it
yeah,
didn't come across
Maybe-
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
When they were doing it.
That's
But-
fair.
But she's-
That's completely
yeah.
fair.
She seems really I know she's supposed to be 10, but she seems really little.
Yeah.
So-
She does.
Yeah.
So it would have been better to have someone who's about 15 play a 10-year-old.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
Like,
get a smaller person.
what's her name played Arya in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah. So
or
you-
Dakota Fanning's always done. She always
Yeah.
plays someone way
Yeah.
younger
Yeah.
because she looks young. But yeah, I mean, I think I would have done that. I mean, I think she's doing great with the role and everything, and I like
Yeah.
her. And she reminds me of Leia.
Yeah, 'cause there's a couple
But-
more looks in this one. I was like, that looks
Yes.
like Leia.
But I
She
like
was more.
how-
She was kind of annoying in the
She,
episode. though.
she was kind of
Well,
annoying.
she's a 10-year-old
she's also
girl.
a
They're
10-year-old.
all
So
Which would have been okay if she'd have been annoying in other episodes, but she wasn't. She was smart and she was put together, and she didn't freak out on the ship. Why is she going to freak out now?
yeah, it was like someone
it
else
was
was,
like,
writing the character.
Right.
So
And I did like in her character in this one how they highlight how she's like her mom. Because we don't get to see a lot of that. Because they compare Luke a lot to
Yeah.
Anakin, but they don't compare
Leia
Leia a lot
to
to Padme.
yeah.
Which a lot of the things that she
When-
does and the reason
yeah.
she's good at is because her mom was that way.
And when
Like
Obi-Wan
hitting him. Her mom wouldn't have just sat there. She would have got out
Yeah.
and hit the first person that came through the door.
yeah,
when near the end when Obi-Wan was talking to her about her mother that she didn't know it, that part did get me a little emotional.
Yeah. That made me tear up.
Yeah.
and then
'Cause, like, that to me, that probably was the best part of the
Yes.
episode when he was talking to her
When you slow
about
down,
Padme.
yeah.
And
Yes.
it was the most character-driven part of the episode.
Yeah.
Whoever the writers are, they're doing good with the character-driven stuff. They could do a little better with the action,
Yes.
Yeah.
which isn't really a writing thing. That's more of a filming side. But
that's more of a, I think, a director.
yeah,
Because I don't know, in the writing, I think they said, I would assume it would just have fight scene. I don't know if it describes every little part of the fight.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but I wouldn't think
Yeah.
the director has more control over that. But there was one thing that, this was on the second viewing that got me. I didn't really notice it in the first one because I was just trying to, just enjoying the story. But yeah, it was a little too, he gets on the planet, he just happens to meet the kid that could take him to the Jedi, that could take him right to her.
It was too convenient.
A little too convenient on, bam, that
Yeah.
happened, that happened, that happened. He didn't have to do any detective work really.
Yeah.
This kid knows right where someone who's going to know right where they are.
they could have they could have spent the same amount of time, but instead of the kid approaching him, he hears that person talking to somebody else about the Jedi can get you out. The
Right.
Yeah. Or her little toy has a tracker in it. That would have been way easier.
You're right.
yeah.
They already tracked the ship.
Right.
You've got, they track everything in Mandalorian with the little
Yeah.
fob.
Yeah, you
Stupid
can't
little
tell
fob
me.
thing.
You can't
Yeah.
tell me her toy she keeps with her constantly. Your parents are not going to track
Wouldn't
her
put
in
a
it.
tracker in it. and considering she's a princess.
And she has it all the
So
time.
that would have been a way better way to track her down.
Yeah.
Again, how is she a
You know.
princess? Don't know, but she is.
Yeah. That is something I would like clarified.
I know, and it's not even this show's fault. It's Star Wars' fault in general that
Yeah.
we do not know why that is not clarified.
Yeah, and then so finally, I like Leia doing that, and he's getting her out, but on the way, I think it was on the way in, right? Because later on, he didn't use the Force like you said, really on Tatooine. When she fell, it seems like he was.
It seemed like he
reluctant.
really struggled.
to touch
But
the Force.
Yeah.
he didn't struggle and didn't hesitate to use the Force when he went to break her out to boil the drugs and make them explode. That's
That's
a little
true.
bit of
Yeah.
continuity.
Yeah.
Why did he do that, but not do the other thing?
Right? Why
Yeah.
is that easy? Why for
He
some
didn't
why
even
could he touch
hesitate
he could,
to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah, that's a
well,
little...
on the second one through, I'm like,
Because it was
Yeah.
the Force, right? He didn't
Yeah.
slip anything into it.
Yeah.
It was the Force.
Like, it
I'm
would have been...
assuming so.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like.
it would have been so easy just to show him turning a little valve so he turns the flame up too high
Yeah.
and it
it
explodes.
explodes.
Yeah.
Like, that would have
Because
been...
if they're making drugs, with drugs, if you do something like, they will explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
Like,
reasonable.
Yeah.
So I don't get why he could touch it then, and I didn't even catch that, but I
Yeah.
don't get why he could touch it then.
well, I think he can touch it there. He's just reluctant to do it, and he doesn't.
No, it seemed like he really struggled
To touch
Yeah.
the Force.
to touch the Force
But he-
and to be able to
Yes.
to
Yeah.
hold her.
Yeah. So.
Maybe it's 'cause that was something bigger.
Maybe it's because she's bigger than whatever the... Yeah.
And those are the things that I think that being, who you are and the life you've lived and stuff like that in the movies you've seen when you're older like me, a lot of times you'll pick up on stuff like that. Where a younger person who's doing a writing or something like that may not have thought about it.
Yeah.
Or because you could have done... All you had to do was when he was in his cave back in Tatooine, one time show him use the Force to boil some water.
That's what I was gonna say. In his food, didn't he use that in the
No, he had a
cave?
little-
No, he had a little burner
little
thing.
hot plate.
Oh,
But they could have had him
do that.
walk in and just start
saying
boiling
like
some
he
water.
does that, but
does
he
that.
doesn't.
He does that, but he doesn't lift things.
He does-
Right.
Like,
yeah.
it's harder if you haven't practiced, like, lifting something the
Right.
size of,
Yeah.
a child.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then-
Whereas things you do at home, like I live in a cave, so I don't have this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I have to do it this way.
Yes, yeah,
That bothered me. Why did it take him so long to like touch the Force and then like I don't know.
Yeah.
And then when he did get Leia, it was like, what, a second and a half? He was down at the street.
Yes.
Yeah,
That-
I was
I
confused
noticed that
when
the
he
first
walked
time.
around the
Yes,
corner.
I
I'm
noticed
like,
that.
Yeah.
It took him like
I was
2
like,
seconds.
what? He just in a battle up there? People are shooting at him, and all of a sudden he's
Yeah.
down the street. Not a big deal. Hanging out, like, oh, are you
Yeah.
okay? And this and that.
Right.
Not even running away. Not I go, okay, I grab her and run.
Yeah.
They
Right.
were just like, hey.
And then the
So,
whole
yeah.
like parkour scene with what's her face?
yeah.
That
What's
was
her name
silly.
again? I forgot her name.
Reva? Yeah.
Like,
She's just
she
seeing
sees
him jump, flip,
she
that,
she
that.
sees
That's
the
what I'm talking about,
firefight
action
going
scenes were
on.
silly.
Yes, it was
Then
silly.
she's doing parkour for 5 minutes, gets nowhere.
Gets nowhere. Gets absolutely
Gets
no
nowhere.
closer to
You
them.
could have shown a couple little things where she went up the thing or whatever, or did a but when you're running and you run and you do a backflip, just on there was no reason to do the backflip is the thing.
And that's actually taking up more
She's-
time.
Yeah, she's not going to do that if they could have shown a couple little cool things quicker. And then I'm wondering, why is she on top of a building in the first
Yeah,
place?
to begin with.
Is she just assuming
Right.
in this huge city that she's just going to see?
Yeah.
And just
Right.
so happens they start fighting on the rooftop where she's at. Like I
Right.
said, there's too many little conveniences.
Yes.
They could have cut
they
that
could've-
part out completely, and the next time you see her is her running into the fake Jedi guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have cut that out completely, and that still would have been completely believable because she's still walking through the city. She's still
Right.
looking for them.
And she can still get alerts.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, hey, he's been seen here.
Yeah.
She heads that direction.
Right. And dude's dressed like a Jedi, so people would probably report him like,
Yeah.
hey, he looks like a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And the chase with Leia again.
There's another
Nobody
chase
can catch a 10-year-old.
Exactly. I don't understand.
that's a really tiny 10-year-old.
really
small
tiny
10-year-old,
Like,
yeah.
She's tiny.
I mean, yes, she is small. Like,
She wasn't running fast at all.
I'm pretty sure I
Like,
was taller than
it
her
was-
at 10. Like, that's how tiny she is.
It was a little bit more understandable in the market because she could slip under a table where Obi-Wan can't.
But
She
didn't
can
do-
slip under a table.
But she didn't even
But-
do a whole lot of that.
But
She
the
did it
minute,
once.
the
She did-
minute
yeah, she did it like
started
once
to
or
run
twice.
Away, why didn't he just snatch her up?
And then
I don't get it.
she ran literally like
Right to him.
right to him and past him, and he's just like, stop.
Right.
As she runs by, I'm like,
Right.
no, you grab her.
But my whole thing is she didn't freak out when the guys took her, but she's going to freak out when she sees that Obi-Wan's wanted on the thing. Why would that make her think? She's seen the lightsaber.
Right.
She's the one who said, so you're a Jedi. So why now would she all of a sudden doubt it and freak out and run out? You're not going to freak out and whatever when you're on the ship with the bad guys.
Yeah.
They took you from your parents, but the guy that's supposedly here to rescue you, they actually got you
Right.
out of there. Now you're going to freak out?
Yeah.
And
It just seemed, it seemed too...
what is the reluctance of him not wanting to tell her his name? I mean, I don't, because she, help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. Later she knows that he's Obi-Wan.
Well, yeah, but that...
Why is he reluctant to tell her his name? Because that
Well,
would have made her trust him, because I'm sure she knows who Obi-Wan Kenobi is.
Well, because if he told her his name, then later on in episode 4, she wouldn't say, you helped my father in the Clone Wars. She would have said, remember you rescued me from that planet.
Oh,
So you can't say,
yeah.
hey, I'm Obi-Wan, and now she knows him and said, hey, you served my father during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
You know?
That way she doesn't know that Obi-Wan was the one that saved her
Yeah.
all those years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where if they're like together for the rest of the show, if the rest of the show is
Then-
him getting her back to her parents,
Then it's going to be...
Then-
that kind of ruins
yeah, it
episode
kind of
That
ruins
ruins it.
episode 4 because she would know
Yeah.
Right.
who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he
She
did
wouldn't.
some mind
Yeah,
wipe
she
or
wouldn't
something.
say you served my father during the Clone Wars.
Unless
So,
he did a mind wipe on her or
episode-
something dumb.
Episode like 3
He needs to get her back home.
Yeah.
Like right at the beginning, is to get her back.
Yes.
I would-
And then the rest of the series can be Reva like hunting him down.
Yeah.
And him trying to contact Qui-Gon
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
And-
as long... Yeah. uh-huh.
Maybe he goes to see Yoda to
When
help him.
because she knows where he's taking her. He's taking her home.
Yeah.
I can see that being the time, that being the moment where they kill her,
Her mom.
Her mother.
her mom. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you know, because I would say Reva could get back before he does, but the problem with that is that Reva couldn't get even to the planet where the guys that she hired to help kidnap the girl, she couldn't even beat Obi-Wan there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
she showed up after he did. And the second time I watched it, I was like, that's when I noticed her plan was her whole plan was stupid.
I thought the whole plan was stupid from the beginning.
Yes, I didn't catch it at the first, but then I was like,
It was
so
stupid.
she kidnaps the daughter of someone that he knows that he's kind of friends with, hoping that Obi-Wan would show up instead of him sending every single military person on their
Right.
planet
Yeah.
to come get them. Why would she think that he
Well-
would
Yeah.
call Obi-Wan
Instead of
sending every one of his
Instead
guards?
of he's a senator for the Empire.
Why would he
He's
even get...
part of the Empire.
Maybe that's why he didn't.
What-
Because
but-
the Empire technically took her.
No, smugglers took
Oh,
her
that's
without
true.
the Empire knowing.
They
The
didn't know.
Inquisitors didn't even know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The other
true.
Inquisitors
He
didn't even know.
he didn't know
so
it was the
he
Empire.
He
He could have got other planets to help
Yeah.
friends and could have had 3 or 4 planets all
Yeah.
with all their soldiers going to get hunted
Yeah,
down.
he could have said it. He could have just said, "Hey, I need some troops. My daughter's been kidnapped. We need to find out who did this."
Yeah. And he could have
And
got
hunt
other
them
people,
down.
even in the Senate, to do that and be on their side. And then the Empire goes,
Yeah.
yeah, we do need, you don't need to kidnap kids and stuff like that. And then Reva, it could have really backfired on Reva where, you know, the whole,
Yeah.
you could have had Emperor Palpatine and everybody going, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You know, that's not what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was just the whole plan was done. What are the chances of him calling Obi-Wan?
Right.
yeah,
Why would you think he would do that?
Yeah. And yeah, he needs to get her back home in the next one because if she should not meet Darth Vader.
No.
no.
No, that is going to ruin episode 4. If she meets Darth Vader, and we know that she's already met him, that would be ruined.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything in episode 4 that says she hasn't met Vader before?
It ruins the thing of like, it just
but-
I don't, ruins
yeah.
it for me. Like, that thing of like, oh shit, I've been captured by Darth Vader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It runs like the pressure of the situation. If you know that she's already met him, especially as a child, wouldn't that make you a little less afraid of him that you've already met him?
I think
He's
it makes
not-
you more afraid of him.
No, he's not some big mystery now. He's not Lord Vader, and there's a little bit of mystery around him that makes him seem extra dangerous.
Yeah.
When you meet someone, they seem less dangerous.
Yeah.
She is kind of mouthy to Vader, though.
Yeah.
But that's just Leia.
Yeah. And I think that's why they did some of that stuff, because she's mouthy then, she has to be mouthy now. No, a lot of people aren't. They come into their own and they're not mouthy as.
I would have liked
know.
if she'd been a little shy, and then she
Yeah,
gets
that's why I said she
mouth
has
as it
an
goes
arc.
on.
Although if
Well,
she
she
is
realized she
only in
has
it,
to be in
if she is
charge.
only in it in the next episode, it's hard to do.
Then that
Yeah,
makes
if
kind
She's
of
only
sense.
then
she's
it
only
would
in
be-
a couple episodes. It's hard to do an arc.
Then it would be
character.
okay because you're not. Yeah.
Because you'd have to spend a lot more time
You're trying to make her seem
with
like Leia.
her.
Right.
Than, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then what do we
Although
got?
I think they could have done it and spent the same amount of time with her.
Yeah.
Probably.
And then I think in this episode, Reva to me became less intimidating.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She was intimidating in the first one. She's cutting people's hands off. She's throwing knives in people's face. And this one, she's doing parkour and not catching anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I
And
can
then
see
she kills the.
there's a difference between
I
being
didn't like her
Inquisitor.
killing.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a difference
Inquisitor.
between being impulsive and then killing
Right.
the head Inquisitor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Unless you're gonna bring someone even creepier into
because
the next one.
and he can't die, can he?
Well, Vader theoretically.
because isn't this?
Is it the same Inquisitor?
That's the same. If it's the same Inquisitor, he's in.
He's in Rebels.
Yeah. So
if
you
it's the
can't-
same, I don't
It looks,
think it's
I
the
think
same.
it's supposed to be the same. I think there's only one head Inquisitor or whatever. I think.
Well, I mean, if he died, I'm assuming they would
Maybe
appoint
the
a
other
new
head
Grand
Inquisitor
Inquisitor.
But
is
we
the
look
one
the
in
exact
Rebels.
same.
I mean, he looks the same as the
Yeah.
one that, except for the helmet.
But I'm just wondering.
The one in the helmet
Well, I'm
looks
just wondering
almost the same
if
as
he
him.
actually dies. Let's say he doesn't die. So then she's chasing Obi-Wan.
He's
but
chasing her.
he's got to, he's going to be trying to get her. So
Yeah.
it could add another element of, her running, which could have her have an arc where she turns back. Because I'm assuming that she was a youngling.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, from
For
the
one-
She made me
from the very beginning
beginning.
scene of the first episode, I thought
She's
She
one of
was
the-
and
one
then
of
we
those
saw her. I'm
younglings.
like, she might be one of the younglings.
Because where would the younglings go? They would be out on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it looked like, because when I watched it the second time, that there was one that said, "Come on, we got to run, we got to get out of here," and it looked like it could have been
Yeah.
a young version of her.
Yeah.
And
And her lightsaber is different. Her lightsaber is a lightsaber. It's not one of
One of
the
those spinny
It's
things.
not an
things.
Inquisitor one,
She
but
has an actual
she seems
lightsaber.
like she's a Inquisitor in training.
in training, which that's what a lot of the
And they
Inquisitors
said because
are.
of your skill, that's the only reason we took you
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
She was a Jedi or a Padawan.
Yeah, because the Inquisitors aren't like powerful like a Jedi or a Sith. They're like Sith light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like a
Yeah.
But they have some things, but they're not able to slam people against the wall like she did, and
Right.
they're not that advanced with some of that stuff because it's the way the Sith are. The Sith aren't going to train some unless it's their Padawan. They're not
Yeah.
training just a bunch of other people to do what they do. They're stingy about that stuff.
And I wonder why they would choose for her to be an Inquisitor instead of training her to be a Sith.
Well, it could be a step. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
If she knows, she said, she's talking about Anakin. She knows a lot about that, so she could be.
Yeah.
But you would think, I don't know. You would think that if she saw them kill a bunch of them, she wouldn't want to be. But you never know what people will do.
Yeah.
But
Maybe she blames the Jedi. I mean,
Yeah.
because she seemed old enough to where, because if it's 10 years later, I would guess the youngest she could be is 22. So she was 12 when it happened, and 12 is old enough to realize they messed up.
and it's old enough to brainwash her. You know what I
Old
mean?
en-
Talk
yeah.
about how the Jedi were bad, and that's the reason this happened, and they wouldn't
Yeah.
happen
Right.
if they would have been good.
Well, and the reason she joined, I mean, they found her on the street, and I'm thinking the only reason she could have joined is because she does blame the Jedi for what happened to her
Yeah.
and all the other Padawans.
Yeah, these people were nice to her, and the Jedi put her out on the street basically by what happened.
Right.
You could blame, Like I said, she just didn't seem as intimidating as the first
No,
Yeah.
she
one.
didn't.
Maybe she'll get
And-
better again. There's no telling.
I didn't know, maybe I should go back and watch Clone Wars or Rebels or whatever, but I didn't know that he didn't know Anakin was alive.
Yeah. He didn't. As far as he
Well,
knew,
he's been on Tatooine, yeah.
Yeah. As far as he knew, he killed Anakin. He left him for dead. And then went to Tatooine.
Because he
Hasn't
already-
heard. Tatooine's on the Outer Rim. They're not going to hear about Lord Vader.
Well, they could hear about Lord Vader, but they wouldn't know. But did Anakin ever hear the word Lord Vader? Or
he
Vader?
He knew that Vader was Anakin's Sith name.
Oh, that because they watched that video.
They watched the
Yes.
they watched the video of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I mean, on the Outer Rim, why
Yeah.
would Vader ever go anywhere near there? They're not going to.
And he
They're
does.
not going
He
to care
probably
about
the last place he wants to ever go
is
Yeah.
Tatooine. Yeah.
And is Anakin keeping up with the news? He made it for the first year or two, but then after
You
that,
mean
Obi-Wan? Yeah.
I mean Obi-Wan. He
Yeah.
may
because
not-
Anakin was like, yeah, they put him in a suit and everything, and we see at the
He's
end.
probably still had to go through
But he
rehabilitation
still had to go
for a
through
while.
rehabilitation
Yeah.
and recovery.
Yeah.
What we're seeing when he does when he finds out she's dying, he's Vader.
probably-
That's probably a year later, maybe. You know what I mean? After he's
Well,
recovered
no, that's
more.
probably pretty soon after. But I mean, he's
But
still not
he
going to be in.
walks.
He's not going to be in
fighting.
fighting shape
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be able to go out and
I do like how, which is not, well, I guess it technically isn't an episode, but it's more episode 3. I do like when he does become Vader and he steps out
Yeah.
and it's kind of stiff. It
Kinda
makes it-
Frankenstein-y?
It makes it look creepier, like he's
Yeah.
Frankenstein, and when he's
Yeah.
real stiff when he walks out of it.
Yeah.
But
And for those
And I
who
like the
nitpick on the
flashbacks.
internet, Frankenstein's monster, not
yeah,
Frankenstein.
whatever. But
That's all. Anytime anybody brings up Frankenstein,
Yeah,
that's
like-
all.
Yes.
There you get a comment like, "Well, actually, it's Frankenstein's
it's
monster."
Yeah.
Well, that's actually I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like Ted and How I Met
It's
Your
generally
Mother.
accepted that
Yeah.
you can call the monster
Right.
Frankenstein as well.
I was like Ted on How I Met Your Mother. Actually, that's Frankenstein's monster. I want to slap him right through the TV when he says it.
And then, like in this one, and to give her more of an arc, whenever the Grand Inquisitor shows up, he just like, third sister, you did this and that and this. He should have punished her something. I mean,
Yeah.
Instead of her being able to parkour her way to the thing, it would have been better if he would have sent her away or something.
Yeah,
You know what I
because
mean?
they walk up to her like, "You're going to be punished." Then they just leave.
Yeah, and then
Like-
Obi-Wan
And they think
kills.
she was
and
just
then-
gonna
Oh,
stay
you
there.
think she's
She's
just
been
gonna
doing all
stand
this
there?
stuff like
She's doing this stuff behind your back anyway. Like, yeah, she should have been punished somehow.
She should have been punished, sent away, and then Obi-Wan could have killed the Inquisitor.
Yeah,
Or injured him or whatever. I don't know if he's dead or not. I'm
Yeah.
assuming he is, but he could have done that.
yeah,
But instead you had her do that. Well, I'm not here to watch her kill anybody. I'm watching Obi-Wan. I want
Yeah.
Obi-Wan to do Obi-Wan things.
yeah,
There's something where he could have been pushed to the edge where he finally just had to. You know what I mean? And it came out, and because it's that muscle memory. Everything that came out, and boom, I'm back. Now he's not completely back where he was, but it comes out in little spurts.
yeah.
But no, we have her kill him, and I'm like, well, if you're gonna have anybody kill him, have Obi-Wan kill him.
Right.
She should have been punished.
They're-
Who punishes somebody by, hey, we'll talk about this later?
They're giving
Yeah.
her an arc almost like
Well,
Anakin or Kylo. They're giving her that kind of arc, like a Jedi Sith arc, that she doesn't deserve. Because we don't
She
know
doesn't
her
need.
yet.
Well, she doesn't need.
And she doesn't need it either.
Because this is the Obi-Wan show.
Right.
yeah.
So we're here to see Obi-Wan. We're not here.
I expect
you
her
can-
to have some sort
yeah.
of arc across the show, but
But she,
it's
anyway,
still
it's like the Mandalorian.
to have an arc. I mean,
It's like
you
the
need to
Mand-
go through something.
Yeah.
She needs to be. She
Right.
needs to be like
Well, it's-
punished somehow for her actions against the
Yes.
Inquisitors.
Well,
That's
we're-
what I'm hoping. Next episode, she's punished for this. Maybe that's how
Yeah.
we meet Vader.
I don't care if she's punished. It's like the Mandalorian. I watched the Mandalorian to see what? The Mandalorian.
Right.
So you had different episodes. People came in and out and showed up. So like here, Princess Leia's in for the couple of ones. You know what I mean? You could have had her be in for a couple of and never be in it again.
Yeah.
I'm here to see Obi-Wan.
Right.
I could care less if she's in the whole entire series.
Right.
If she's going to be in it, it'd be nice to have an arc. But I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm here to see Obi-Wan.
They're
do
putting
his
a lot
thing.
of focus on her arc
Exactly.
that I don't
Yeah.
care
That's what I
about.
don't.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. Look, I'm not here to see her. I'm
No.
here to see Obi-Wan.
I'm here to see
I do
Obi-Wan.
think by the
Yeah.
end of the season, I think Obi-Wan is going to kill her. I think
Yeah.
he's. I think by the end of the season,
Yeah.
he's going to have to kill her because I think
'Cause she's not
going
in any other things,
I
is she?
think no,
No.
I think she's going to like track him back to Tatooine somehow
And try to kill Luke.
and
And he has to
find
kill
out
her.
find out about Luke or something. Find out that he's been watching over
yeah.
This child. for
this
some
this
reason.
family, and yeah.
He'll have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to have a second season.
And it'll be a
cliffhanger like that.
And
I think it'll be a moment kind of like similar to in Rebels when he kills Darth Maul, except less cool because that was
'cause-
Yeah.
earned.
right. And
Yeah.
she's
Earn
not
more.
as cool as Darth Maul.
She's not as cool
No.
as Darth Maul,
No.
and
Who
that
is besides Vader though?
Darth Maul is also a very different character than she
Yeah.
is
And wouldn't it have
because
been?
she's still very like
Yeah.
in the Empire. Darth Maul's like, I want everything to burn.
Yeah.
Right.
It would have been more fun.
Like I want Darth Maul wanted the Empire to
So
go
would
down.
it? But would it be more fun to watch instead of watching her kill the Inquisitor? Wouldn't it have been more fun to watch Obi-Wan go up it with his spinning, lightsaber thing?
Right.
Yeah.
That'd have been way more fun.
Yeah, it would've.
It'd have been a way better action scene.
Right.
you know,
Agreed.
than her killing him and then Obi-Wan just running and getting on the thing, you know. So I was like, but Obi-Wan didn't do anything.
No.
He got into
You
a
know?
firefight with a blaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's very uncivilized.
Yeah.
Very
Um,
civilized.
And then, have either one of y'all ever seen the movie with Whoopi Goldberg, Theodore Rex?
No.
No.
You've never heard of it? Okay, so never mind.
Why?
The dinosaur bounty hunter. That's what.
Oh,
that's
the
what-
lizard man? Okay.
That's what it reminded me of. That was the hell movie, and I thought
It was a velociraptor.
because it was it was the way it was like Velociraptor, but the way it walked off like like that, I was like that reminds me of it was a movie as an old movie as Theodore Rex. It was a really dumb one.
I did notice the dinosaur headband him like that. That looks.
We've already talked about Leia, how she's smart and then she's dumb, then she's smart and then she's dumb. They need to pick one. Either she's smart or she's dumb.
Yeah. I will say, it feels like she was written by a different person in
Yes.
this episode.
Yeah. And I know that, like, with The Mandalorian, like, a different person, like, wrote
Yeah.
and directed. You can't do that with Obi-Wan, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can, but you have to be very careful when you're writing a child.
Yes.
Because one writer writes her as an intelligent child.
Right.
Then the second writer writes her
As a child.
as a more childlike child.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Right. Because in the first one, I didn't think it was really realistic, the way she talked.
Yeah. She was a
I-
little.
she-
I
was
can
a
see her
little-
talking like that. I think
Yeah.
I think it would have been better if her cousin would have had a comeback.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she didn't know how to have a comeback from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later on, it could have showed her doing that.
Yeah.
And she could have met her cousin again. But there was also.
Or like you said, like she
Yeah.
kicks him.
Yeah. Why would there's like again those things that happen, and it's just so the story can happen. If you were shutting down a planet or a city and not want anybody to escape, would you just go, okay, shut everything down, we're going to escape? Well, the cargo ports, no one would ever think to escape there. So don't worry, don't watch them.
Yeah, don't worry about the cargo ports.
Right.
I mean, it's still something that can carry people. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't they be monitored? Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
Because it's automated. And that doesn't mean I can't. If it's automated, like I think, did you say, if it's automated, then why does it have a part with, why is there a thing they can hide in?
Yeah.
Or whatever, considering that for cargo, you don't need an atmosphere.
Yeah.
You don't need a whatever. So why is there a place where they can go hang out and...
Yeah.
Otherwise, if there is, then you need to watch those ports unless you're a complete moron. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was saying unless your tactical, expertise goes as far as a stormtrooper can shoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we already talked about the
Shooting. Speaking of the shooting, it was really bad.
Hmm?
I get Obi-Wan being bad at shooting. He hadn't had a lot of practice. Bounty hunters are bad at shooting too.
Yeah. It did well.
It was very stormtroopery.
Yeah. Well, I can see it because it seemed like it was from a fair distance away, and none of them had more rifle-like
Yeah.
blasters.
Pistols
I don't
are
know if blasters work the same as guns.
yeah. Well,
but,
and Obi-Wan, like I said, he doesn't like blasters.
Yeah.
They're so uncivilized.
well, I can
so
I can
see
understand him
being a good
not
shot.
being very
Yes.
good with it.
No,
But
I
like
never
the
see him with
bounty
the bounty hunters, they
hunters,
weren't that good either.
but I can see if they've got more just handheld blasters instead of the more rifle-like blasters, that if they're not as accurate at longer ranges.
Could
And
be.
maybe it's more like a T-Rex, you can see him when he moves.
Yeah.
Even though that's not true. But that was the old thing about T-Rexes.
You can only see
But yeah, that's really kind of all. Like I said, the last thing was just, why weren't they monitoring the ports and
Yeah.
stuff? So like I said, I got, And so this one wasn't as good as the first one. Hopefully that doesn't mean they go downhill from here.
That's what
Hopefully it means,
Yeah.
hopefully kind of like the Mandalorian. Had a good one and a good one, then that was just okay.
Yeah.
And a good one, and then okay.
Yeah.
And a good one.
I
and
think
a
it'll
good
be
one.
like that.
Yeah.
It'll be like, this one was just okay, but the next one will be good.
Yeah.
I think they just need to. This one would have been okay to focus on Reva if she's going to be in the whole thing. If, like you said, they would have done more character stuff instead of her more parkour and stuff and
Right.
killing Grand Inquisitors. If they would have had, like in the first one, Obi-Wan, if they would have had stuff, so she's going to end up being the main villain. You need to, get to know
Yeah.
the villain. Just like they had, Infinity War is basically
Thanos'
movie.
Yeah.
You know, so out of all the movies they had, one was his. Well, you could have one episode that's hers to get to know her, so then the rest of the time you get her motivations and you get her whatever, if they would have got into that. But they didn't. They spent time chasing Leia, who you could snatch her up really quick.
Yeah.
They wasted time with her flipping all over
They
the
could have
place.
fixed that entire scene so that instead of him chasing Leia because she's running away,
Somebody's just chasing them. They see
somebody sees them and chases them.
chases them.
Right,
Much better.
exactly. Much better and much more real. Like, I don't get it.
And like I said, you didn't even really need that change. You could have spent that time getting Reva's motivations where you understand her thing and maybe even make her a better bad guy, you know.
Yeah.
Because since she, unlike a Vader or like I said, the Great Inquisitor, who you don't really have to get to know, like right from the beginning, you know Vader's a bad guy. You know the Inquisitor's a bad guy. But with her, with just having a black outfit on, she could be walking on the street and you wouldn't know she was a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she doesn't have that instant, I'm a bad guy. So
Right.
you've got to give her something to let her know she's a bad guy, which they were doing in the first episode, making her, really, I thought she was intimidating there
Yeah.
because she was so ruthless.
Right.
And in this one, the Reva of the first movie would have killed the fake Jedi guy.
Yeah.
She would have just been, what? You're not. Tell me where he is. Well, he's
I
there.
thought he was
Okay,
gonna
fine.
die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kill him. I said, that's who she is. She's gonna get.
What happened
and
to
then,
him?
And then she didn't. He slammed her up, and then she just got the information, and she just left.
No, she would have killed him.
Yeah.
Exactly. She would have killed him.
Yep.
That's who she. That's who she's cutting hands off and everything. She would have killed Owen if it.
Yeah, she was about to kill Owen,
if they
yeah.
wouldn't have- So why wouldn't she kill this guy? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So that.
And her just happened to pick out
So
Owen.
it made her.
Bothers me too.
Yeah. So it made her let. It's a little contrivance of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it that one didn't bother me because Obi-Wan didn't have to come saving.
Yeah.
If Obi-Wan had to come saving, and that's the plot. That's the plot contrivance. So then now they're chasing him. Then that would have been a little too. But
Yeah.
since he didn't have to save him,
I see that as more foreshadowing.
it was- yeah.
To me, that was the foreshadowing of she's going to find out about Luke.
yeah.
And this
And
is
that's
why.
that's going to be how
And it just made that
that's
scene
going
more
to
tense.
that's going to be how Owen accepts
The
Obi-Wan. Owen accepts Obi-Wan a little bit more.
A little bit more, yeah.
Because and Obi-Wan
I owe him my life.
and Obi-Wan says like, oh, I won't train him, but I'm still going to protect him.
yeah.
yeah.
Like, so that Owen knows it's not just because he wants him to be a Jedi, it's because he cares about him.
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't train him to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
No.
So that was that one. So 5, 5, 5,
Five and a
maybe,
half.
5, yeah, something like that. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
So hopefully the next one's better.
Yeah.
This one was okay, and it's one of those ones where if the next one's better, the next one's better, or something like that, then you can go with this one because it's easy because you know that the next one's going to be better, so you can deal with this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
episode when you rewatch it, it's kind of like I said, the last Skywalker. When that movie was over, then I had no reason to ever go back and watch The Force Awakens because they turned everything said, oh, that whole movie doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now that movie ruined 2 movies because The Force Awakens wasn't great. You know what I mean? But it was fun to watch. You know what I mean? Because it was when it was the first one. They came back out.
Yeah.
They had a lot of fun scenes in there that were kind of neat. And then Empire Strikes. I mean, the
Last Jedi
completely just went. There's no reason to watch Force Awakens anymore.
Yep.
So that was completely right. And then
And
Rise of
the
Skywalker
Last
was just
Jedi
silly.
means there's not really any point to watch The Force Awakens. Then the Rise of Skywalker
which is silly.
undoes everything The Last Jedi kind of
Everything
does,
does,
so
yeah.
there's no reason to watch that. Not really any reason to watch the...
Yeah.
There's no reason to really watch any
Yeah,
of them
it's just
after that.
silly.
Yep. It was just silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What Chewie was dead for a whole 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then we found out he was alive.
Yeah.
No one is ever truly dead. So basically, it's what you find out. They bring anybody back to life.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
So there's no consequences.
Well, if you think about it, so you watch The Force Awakens, well, The Last Jedi negates all of that.
Yeah.
And then The Rise of Skywalker negates all of that. And The Rise of Skywalker also negates episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he didn't restore balance to the Force if Palpatine is alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me so angry. I'm like, so Vader and Luke did nothing.
Yeah. So that's why I don't even count those. That's
Exactly.
why we were on the COVID thing a couple of years ago, and I had 5 weeks off or whatever it was, and I went back and I watched all the Star Wars, even the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
I watched everything. Rebels, watched it all the way up. And then when I got to The Last Jedi, I watched about the first 5 minutes, and I turned on I can't do it.
Yeah.
I even watched Force Awakens, and I was like, okay, I'll watch that. But when I got to Last Jedi,
Didn't you rewatch The Mandalorian too?
I watched the whole Mandalorian and everything. I did the whole
order.
thing.
Yep.
And so I just go, okay, it ends with The Last Jedi. That's where it ends for me, unless they
You
come
even
up
watched
with something
Solo and
like
Rogue One.
that. Yeah, I don't mind. I kind of like Rogue One. I like Rogue
Yeah.
One. That's a good.
I liked Rogue One.
It
Yeah.
wasn't perfect, but it was one of those things where it was good. And Solo, I think of it more as the Chewie movie.
Yeah.
I got to know Chewbacca
Yeah.
instead of the Han Solo movie. But they weren't bad. There was a couple of things that were silly. And I thought, the funny thing with Solo is that I thought I was going to hate the Solo character because
Yeah.
it wasn't, Harrison Ford playing it. And I thought I was going to really like Lando Calrissian. I thought
Oh,
I was
Lando,
gonna,
yeah.
I thought I was going to really
Oh,
like
because
what-
Donald Glover.
I thought I was going to like Donald Glover.
was-
Is good. I like him. I thought he was going to do it. And I didn't really.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching him play Solo more than I enjoyed.
Watching.
Yeah, because
be
he didn't
Lando.
try to be like do an impression of Han Solo.
Yeah.
He was just a young because you don't have to be the exact same. He's young.
Yeah.
He's not in his coolness yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't. He didn't have to be that. He didn't try. But Danny Glover tried to do an impression
Yeah.
of Lando Calrissian, and he just wasn't. Ben Williams, he just has that more of an air,
Yeah.
coolness. There's something smooth about him when he's talking.
Right.
So, but I like that. I like the only thing in Solo that got me is like, why is there a train on this planet when they know they have spaceships, right?
Yeah.
So why is there a train? That seems way
More
more inefficient.
More efficient?
Yeah.
Maybe?
That seems way more inefficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you
Yeah.
just fly from here to there, that would be a straight line's always quicker.
More automatable? I don't know.
I wouldn't think so.
I mean,
know?
you just program it to go back and forth.
But you can program a ship to go back and forth too.
True.
I would like a movie.
It just seems like, and plus to build that, how
Yeah.
much did it take to build
Yeah.
that?
It seems like, yeah.
It's kind of like I said about when we got the fridge over here, and I, was telling, your mom, she goes, well, don't they make fridges for outside? I go, they do, but the one I'm getting is like $279. I go, and they make one for outside that's $1,800. How many ones for $270 can I buy for the $1,800? So if this one lasts 3 or 4 years, that means every 3 or 4 years I can get a new one.
Right.
Yeah.
Have a new fridge instead of, and that's,
Yeah.
I mean, I could buy like 6 or 7 of them. I mean, we'll be dead before that. That's
Yeah.
I'm assuming it'll last at least 5 years.
Right.
The mini
You
fridge,
know,
the mini
mini
fridge we
fridge-
have out here it's been out here a little over a year at this point.
It's still fine.
It's
works
fine.
just fine.
So yeah.
I would. Yeah, both of them have it.
So it's the same thing with that. I mean, you're gonna the cost of flying back and forth might be more, but the cost of building that whole thing,
Yeah.
it might pay for itself off after 20 years or something, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
But even after that, you'd have to have maintenance on it,
Yeah.
and it's easier for what happened for them to come
Yeah.
try to,
I would like to know what happened to Chewie after Order 66. He was standing next to Yoda. What
Yeah, he
happened?
was on. Well, he was on Kashyyyk. The Empire.
which is his planet.
Yeah,
so
the
they're not gonna-
Empire took Kashyyyk over.
Yeah.
After that,
I'd still like
Yeah.
to know what happened.
Yeah, and
it's a.
And-
In Solo they say that the Empire took Kashyyyk over and stuff, and they enslaved the Wookiees and stuff.
yeah.
But how did he get out? Is that I didn't watch Solo.
I mean, he was enslaved, and then
Yeah.
they let him. They broke him out or whatever. They let him out.
Oh, Honda's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The
Well, that,
so
that
anyway,
tells me what happened. I just wanted to know.
all right. So that's the end of that. We're off on something completely different tangent.
Yeah.
So
we're just
that's for a
complete
different
tangent.
talk.
Yeah.
Right.
So, first one was for a second episode was good as the first one. Hopefully, the next one will be better, and we should we'll probably watch the I would at the latest and watch it maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third
You
one,
know,
yeah.
because I really want to see it because I've heard
too.
some things about it which won't give away because
I haven't heard anything about it.
Me either.
Well, I've heard who's may be on it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
That's what I
Yeah.
said. So, but anyway, yeah, that's it. So, have a good evening. We're gonna, do last call, and that'll be it. So, have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.
Wrong show.
Idiot.
Jeez.